Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? This is Erick here for Faster Humans. So new episode, and very excited. There's so many things I want to talk to you guys, and definitely an episode that it makes a lot of sense in regards to the times that we're living at. A lot of people, and still as the month of March. We're going for the month of April, and I want to do this episode because I want to talk about certain things that's been happening for this month. A lot of states here in the United States still they haven't opened specific areas, gyms, locations, and specific things like that. But there's a lot of people I know that want to come in and actually work out. They want to get the mindset of be able to get a workout and get fit. But a lot of people come in to work out and to release stress. But even though, so they come in to work out to release stress, but they're still on the levels of stress are high. A lot of stuff is a lot of people still trying to understand, how can they be able to lose weight, and how do they gonna be able to maintain losing that weight as they continue exercising. But one of the things that I notice a lot in a lot of the clients that I speak to, and a lot of people that have to have these conversations in regards to the nutrition intake and diets that they follow, is that they continue doing the same eating patterns and sleeping patterns. And what makes a huge difference, and I can tell you from my own experience, is that many things that most people do in a daily basis is have to deal with a lot of levels of stress. And we talk about this in previous episodes, but I wanted to kind of sort of like bear off thinking so much of the stress, because we know we have to deal with stress. We have a good stress and we have a bad stress that we have to deal with. So for anyone who is brand new to come into the gym, they're looking for something different. They're looking to be able to de-stress themselves out from all the daily stuff they got to go through. So one of the things that I speak to many of my clients is that the fact that you are going to have to change your sleeping patterns. You have to change your eating patterns. And the reason why I say this is because I know we talk about fasting, we talk about intermittent fasting, we're talking about OMAD, we talk about keto, carnivore, we talk about all these. But when it comes down to fasting itself, once again, I talk about it's being a tool, not a diet, because you're not limited, or you're not necessarily being restricted to a specific things you can eat, you shouldn't eat, what not to eat, right? And I talk about, and this is one of the things that it creates a little bit of the misconception of breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Breaking your fast is necessary when you start your day, but is not the most important meal of the day. I will say the time frame when you break your fast, it will be the most important time of your day to do so, because when you're breaking your fast, it's supposed to be a relaxing moment, a moment that you can just be able to sit down and enjoy every bite that you have. And so whether it's an hour time frame, whether it's you have a 4-hour window, 5-hour window. So I noticed this because when I was asked how many hours of sleep are you getting every single night, and the answer is going to be between 6. Some people say 5. Some people say just about 6 hours. And so everybody's different. But one of the things is just about the same is the eating patterns of having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between they do have snacks. And I asked this question is, how do you feel that you're eating this way every single day? And their answer is going to be, well, I'm gaining weight. And they are particularly gaining all this amount of stored glycogen, and they feel bloated, and they feel that if eating healthy foods is going to make a difference. But then I pinpoint these things that most people don't know about: insulin resistance, they don't know about insulin sensitivity. They don't know anything about fasting. They don't know anything about, they believe that what the doctor has said, that you have to eat breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that a pill that is going to fix the problem. Yet again, they continue doing this kind of sort of, and they haven't been able to make no changes. So I asked this question: since you've been taking this medication, since you've been following this diet, have you noticed any difference? And they say nothing at all, really. I have lost some weight, but then I'm kind of stuck into the same amount of weight for the past, few months, and nothing has changed. So the thing about one of the things that I do when it comes down to physical activity is it's a progression to change your body in order to be able to help you burn calories and body fat, and why not? So, but the biggest factor here is the sleeping patterns, because you can have the best workouts every single day, but if your sleeping patterns are real bad, it's gonna counterattack, it's gonna contradict a lot of this good stuff you're doing in the gym, because you don't have a sleep. And then the other part of it is that, yes, nutrition intake. When it comes down to your nutrition, you're eating 5 to 6 meals per day from the moment you wake up, and so this creates a level of stress every single day. And that is just the overall mindset of most people is like, well, I'm eating 5 to 6 meals of the day, I'm kicking in my metabolism, and I just, that's what they told me to do. Well, let me rephrase back, and when I step back, number one thing, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a certified dietitian in any shape or form. I never, diagnose anybody in regards of anything, or I don't, necessarily, impose specific things of diets. What I do make a lot of suggestions in regards of, hey, what if instead of you're starting your breakfast is the most important meal, and then push back that meal and push it into a much better time frame. How about 11 o'clock? And some of them be like, 11 o'clock? Why 11 o'clock? Well, let's look at the damage we're doing in our bodies by eating 5 to 6 meals. But our digestion system is working all through the day. It's like we haven't given our digestion system a break whatsoever in regards of the food that we put in our bodies. So we're not giving the body a break. We're not necessarily making any changes in regards of our food intake. But the first change that I would suggest is the time frame that you eat, mainly because of the essential first thing that you need is hydration. And I say I'd rather you focus on hydration first. Make sure that you're drinking enough water, and by all means, I know you're going to end up eating some specific meal at the end of the day, right? So my recommendations is start hydration and make sure that you got plenty of water. If you feel that you need to have another meal, like the first meal, and you're not having the breakfast, have a black coffee, have a green tea, have a minute of water. But the change that you make right now towards be able to skip that most important meal of the day, what we call it breakfast, is that you are creating a new different pattern for yourself, so that way you're lower your insulin levels. Because once again, as we know, when we spike insulin, we're storing glycogen in our body, and that insulin spike can linger up to 3 hours. And so this is something that's been done research in regards to how people get type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension. And so one of the things that I recommend to a lot of people, look, there's so many books and recommendations of doctors talking about this subject, because at the end of the day, you're trying to stay in a healthy lifestyle, but a healthy lifestyle is just not the activity part of it, because obviously you're going to be active, right? Unless you have limitations of things that you cannot do or you shouldn't do, or what you should be doing in regards of activities. But what it comes down to is, yes, your insulin spike, constantly having it through the whole day, it creates this from the youngest to the oldest. They have all these eating patterns that are putting their bodies into levels of stress in a constant basis, because we are eating those 5 to 6 meals per day. And now I have done that myself, so that I have put myself into this kind of sort of like, well, I eat 5 to 6 meals per day because I need to kick in my metabolism. So one of the things that I know now is like, metabolism, but really how much of my metabolism is being kicked in, and nothing whatsoever. I ramped up my metabolism by being in a faster state versus eating on a feeding mode in a constant basis. And you're in a feasting mode, or you're feasting through the day, and so you wonder why you're gaining weight. So because you don't know about insulin, you don't know about your that hormone imbalance you're creating through your body every single day. So when you're gaining, it's because of that stress level, or because of that hormonal imbalance. It's because of the fact that you're trying to get the best version of yourself to be able to get healthy, right? So we are having these discussions in regards of nutrition intake, for example, right? We are having a conversation in regards of why people have these allergies and these problems with digestion, and everything starts from the moment you were born, from how you were raised and how you're being fed when you were a young kid. And so a lot of things that can create, eventually as you get older, you're having so much of all these irregularities through as you grow, of these different things that are going to put your body into gaining and not losing. So we're storing, and so our bodies don't need to be storing so many calories, so many amounts of food through the day. As we get older, we don't need that. And so one of the things that I say to a lot of my clients is like, you can have 3 meals a day starting in the morning, but that's for a child, not for a grown adult anymore. Because I believe, as you grow, obviously you stop growing, you don't need all these amounts of food 5 to 6 meals per day. And I asked this question to a dietitian and a nutritionist. Is like, well, people are different. They're supposed to be eating 5 to 6 meals per day by recommended because of their issues of digestion. But then I said to myself, well, look, why would you want to tell somebody to eat 5 to 6 meals per day if they're gaining or they have a digestion problem? I know they need to change the nutrition intake overall to find out what is that they're creating the inflammation and all of that. Won't you think that giving a body a break from everything that's being put into the body to be able to reduce inflammation, and it seemed like I'd be able to give a suggestion to having a constantly a constant break of not eating in a constant basis like that is for them, it has come down to, well, they need to change all those foods first. Well, my suggestion, by all means, yes, but what does it make any difference? You continue spiking insulin. Think about it. A lot of people that have done, I would say, keto, for example, right? A lot of people cannot sustain keto because there is so much restriction based upon the fact that you cannot have carbohydrates. So we know you need to have carbohydrates in a specific time frame of carbohydrate cycle. So you have to remember that this is something that I normally tend to do on a constant basis to be able to maintain some kind of rhythm in my nutrition intake. But everybody's different when it comes down to it. And if you feel that keto is something that it is sustainable to you and you be able to maintain this sustainability, so by all means continue doing so. But what we notice a lot, especially in the biohacking and so the intermittent fasting community, is that we have noticed a lot of people that go from keto, they start doing intermittent fasting because then they're gonna stop from seeing the results that they were looking for while they're starting intermittent fasting or fasting per se, and they haven't seen much more results. So this is one of the things that I would say, intermittent fasting is a tool, not a diet. because we're trying to maintain a sustainability in your eating patterns and your sleeping patterns. And a lot of people that are having problems with sleep, it has to do with the amount of carbohydrates and sugars that they put into their body, and why they're not being able to get to sleep, because it's a imbalance going on in their bodies. And so I see these day in, day out as I continue working where I do as a trainer. And I feel that that hey, maybe we need to slow down a little bit with all these 5 to 6 meals per day. A lot of people do eat super late, like around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock. That's, I think, that eventually puts a toll in your body. I've had people eating at 12 midnight. And so we have people eating sporadically through the whole day and not realizing that they are spiking insulin in the body, because we know that you need to release all that stress. One of the things that I suggest to my clients is like, look, you're here for a reason, coming to the gym because you want to reduce levels of stress, not to create much more of a stress on yourself than what it is on the outside. So what we need to prevent, and having a much more approach of prevention to create a much more an environment where people are coming in and say, okay, this is my place to distress. This is a place where I need to, focusing on my fitness goals. Yes, but at the same time, what you do on the outside impacts what is going on the inside, whether it's at work or the gym, because of the levels of stress. So what creates all these levels of stress is a constant snacking and eating all through the day, and it's by many of the community on people that have spoke about why you get into diabetes, why you have a high blood pressure, why are you having hypertension, why you have an ED. So it's all these things that we have put in so much of it levels of stress and so much sugar in our body. So eventually it's gonna take a toll. You might not feel it, you might not notice it right now, but eventually it will have an impact in your body as you get of age. And I can tell you for my own experience, being 220 pounds at one point, notice that you're going to need to make changes. You have to be able to have an approach where you have to be open-minded about the fact that you're gonna have to change protocols. You're gonna have to. A lot of people, they say, well, I did intermittent fasting and didn't work out. Well, how long did you do it? Some people say, oh, well, I did it all for a month and didn't work out. Well, one of the things, it takes time, up to 30 days for the body to kind of adjust to all these specific things, all these specific patterns. It is going to take some time. So one of the things that I definitely want to, let you know, guys, is that by doing so every single day and making changes every single day is going to release all the stress that you have again and again. So my suggestion to you, as you approach the middle of the year, we're going to April, so just gotta remember that the approach to intermittent fasting has to be changed, because the body adapts very quick. I'll say, do the 16-8 for 30 days and then move on to 18-6 another 30 days and then move on. You need to work around that window the window of eating, and in a way where you have to be open-minded that these things they're gonna change and the body adapts to it. So for all my friends, don't forget to subscribe for my channel, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. It helps the algorithm. It helps here on my podcast too, that you subscribe and give me a review in regards of how I do on this channel. It's been a few weeks because it's been a little hectic with my new job and creating content. It's been one of the things that I try to make sure that I be able to share as much as I can on my Instagram page. You can be able to follow me on Instagram right below on the description. You can be able to follow me there. And so for my friends that want to be part of my life or make Circle of Trust. You'll be able to follow me there too, as the link's available there. And if you want to be part of the Facebook, it's available there for the group. So that way you can be able to support each other and be able to communicate in regards of intermittent fasting, and much more. Biohacking, meditation, things we're going to be talking about soon, and something I've been talking about for the few episodes before. So have a blessed day. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.